Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. This is Coach Ricardo Miller, and I'm back for another live, effective living early morning talk. Now, here's the deal. I'm super excited about the future because every day, you all know me, I'm working on getting better, okay? I'm working on embracing principles that I should have embraced for a long time, but for whatever reason, uh, it just hadn't happened. And now I'm finding myself at 46 years old, loving life and engaging into these practices that I'm discovering that I should be working into my daily living. And it feels great. Listen, guys, every day it is our goal to introduce to you content that will help you create a life you don't need a vacation from. You are responsible for making decisions that will make life work for you. Today, I'm joined with a lifelong friend. She is amazing. Phyllice, man, we finally got you on Effective Living Early Morning Talks. How you doing, lady?
I'm doing good, and I'm happy to be here with you and your audience. And yeah, I'm just grateful.
Listen, you're in the Bahamas, and
Yes,
they say God lives in the Bahamas.
is that what they say?
That's what it said. That's what it said. And so I tell people I'm a proud Bahamian. I love the Bahamas. I've been told I've lost my accent, but I don't think I've lost my accent. I think I still got it. I think I
Okay.
still got it. I still got it.
Definitely, definitely. And
So,
it's still warm.
yeah,
I know most places around the world it's starting to get cool, but
yeah,
as you can see, I'm in my backyard and
yeah,
wearing my sports bra,
yeah,
just taking in some vitamin D. So it's
yeah.
good to be outdoors.
Nice, nice. Please tell our viewing audience a little bit about you. We're going to dive into fitness as a lifestyle, but who is Phyllice?
Okay, so my name is Phyllice Janeen Bethel. I sometimes leave Bethel off because that's interchangeable. I work at the Small Business Development Center in the Bahamas, helping businesses to launch, pivot, and grow. I'm equally passionate about helping people to evolve to being the happiest and healthiest version of themselves.
Well, Felice, we've known each other for could be
Yep.
30 years easy,
Easy,
right?
easy. Yeah. I knew you from back in the day. Listen, we both have grown so much since the day we met.
Um,
And, I think that's the beautiful thing about life. A lot of times people look at where they are currently
yeah,
and they're not grateful because they wish they were so much further.
yeah,
But the thing is, just, take baby steps every day,
yeah.
and eventually you will get to a place where you can look back and see the growth that you've achieved.
Wow. Wow. I love that whole idea of baby steps. I'm a big believer of it. And I've said this actually in a number of forums that choosing to do something new every day over time will change anybody. That's the new correct
Exactly.
thing. Yeah, the new correct thing. Like discovering you don't have to, somebody say, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? How do you change your life?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. How do
Exactly.
you change your life? One day at a time. I have a few questions,
Right.
man. I want to dive into this talk.
Okay.
Question here, I said, why do you think most people think little regards for their health while they have it? Because that's really where we find ourselves at for the most part. Everyone's changing. We're getting aged in a little bit, but people take
Mhm.
little regard. What's up with that?
In my opinion, a lot of people feel that we're untouchable and invincible. I could eat whatever I want, drink whatever I want, smoke whatever I want, and supposedly this is called living your best life.
Wow.
But for how long? You
Uh-huh.
know,
Yeah.
there was a time when I thought I could eat apple pie and vanilla bean ice cream for breakfast, lunch, and dinner
Yeah.
until I got to a place where I was just slapped with chronic fatigue, itching skin, and then the doctor prescribed me for diabetic medication.
Yeah.
And when I was prescribed the medication, I immediately thought of a younger cousin who was also diabetic, who lost her sight because of diabetes, and some
Wow.
years later lost her life
Wow.
because of it. And so, you know, thinking that you're untouchable and invincible lures you into this concept that you can do whatever you want, but it only lasts for so long before you come face to face with the consequences.
Wow.
And sometimes those consequences are not reversible.
Right.
Sometimes they are.
Yeah.
So you really have to appreciate that you've been given a gift. When you were born, God gifted you um, this wonderful body,
Yeah.
beautifully made in His image,
Yeah.
and it's your responsibility. Actually,
Yeah.
I mean, you're not entitled. It's your responsibility to take absolute good care of it.
Wow. Phyllice, you mentioned something unreversible. I've been talking about that a lot lately with a lot of my colleagues. I say you need to discover or inquire what is it that you could have that can happen to you that hasn't happened to you, and maybe start doing the work to beat some of these unreversibles that can be beaten should you do the work. Talk to us about that, because a lot of people aren't doing any study or search to figure out, okay, what can I possibly have happen to me because of genetics and so forth.
So, one of the things I did in my 30s, and I wish that I had, known these things about
You
myself.
say your 30s. Aren't you not in your 30s?
Please. I am 45, but
Yeah.
listen, I got some blood work done, and I paid grudgingly, probably more than $1,000 to have this complete blood work done. And it told me things I never knew about myself. For instance, I have this MTHFR gene factor that means I'm prone to blood clotting. So while kale and raw greens are generally good, I shouldn't have it in too large portions because of this K supplement
Yeah.
that is not, it encourages more clotting issues. I also learned about my predisposition to diabetes because what they did was, after the doctor put me on diabetic medication, I was able to come off because I completely revamped my diet. I was reduced to maybe 2 servings of sugar or fruit per day. And even with me taking 2 servings of fruit per day, my sugar levels were still borderline high.
Wow.
So this blood work was showing me the areas where I was really vulnerable, and based on those results, I was able to work with a nutritionist to come up with a meal plan that was specifically designed for me. I think one thing, in your fitness journey, sometimes the urge is to look at somebody else and say, oh, well, that should work for me or this should work for me. No, you have to appreciate that you're an individual and you need an individual plan. And that's an individual workout plan, an individual nutrition plan. And also, fitness isn't just about physical fitness.
Yeah.
So, for instance, what's your mental and emotional fitness?
Yeah.
And so, when you talk about this individual plan, me as an individual, I'm very serious minded.
Yeah.
So, simple things that were prescribed for me: laugh more,
Wow. Wow.
be grateful.
Yeah.
Whether you have $5,000 in your bank account or $500,000,
Yeah.
learn to be grateful.
Yeah.
Be confident.
Yeah.
Stand up for yourself. Know your worth.
Yeah.
So there's like a 360 diagnosis that you have to do into your physical, mental, and emotional health, and your plan should be tailored based on that 360 look at you as an individual in order to make you whole and better.
Phyllice, listen, what you just said was a mouthful, okay? It was loaded, okay? It was, yeah, drop the mic, all right? But here's the deal. What I want to know, what got you locked in at the level that you're locked in? And I mean, your locked in mindset as to what you got to do to take care of you, making sure health and fitness is at a high level of importance, and not be afraid to stand on what you know you need to do. What got you there?
Well, I think I was always fitness minded.
Okay.
But being fitness minded didn't mean that I always knew the right way to go about doing things. So, for example, when I was in college, I was obsessed with weighing 125 pounds because I wanted to wear cute clothes.
Uh-huh.
So I was fitness minded,
Yeah.
but I would go about achieving that 125 pounds by, unhealthy crash diets,
Uh-huh.
those types of things.
Mm.
But as I got older, I realized what was sustainable and what wasn't.
Mhm.
So I just modified the way I went about achieving the results that I wanted. So today, I'm locked into a balanced fitness life, and I don't just pursue health. I mean, ironically, my name, first name, means happy. But happiness was never a goal I strived for. I strived for success. I strived for um, a lot of other things, material things, but never for happiness.
Mm.
And so I'm at a place where I want to be happy and healthy. And so because I have that dual goal, give me one second. Because I have that dual goal, it means automatically I won't subject myself to a crash diet where I'm unhappy all the time because I can't eat anything,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So, having that dual goal keeps me grounded and keeps me balanced. And, there's one thing to get locked in, but you have to stay locked in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, I'm better able to do that if I'm enjoying the process and the journey.
I'm a strong believer that you should enjoy the journey. I'm a strong
Yes.
believer that you should do whatever you need to do to balance that out. You have been pushing, developing, working on yourself, health and fitness. What does your regimen looks like? What is your weekly regimen? What would you say health and fitness regimen look like for Phyllice?
Okay, so before I tackle that, I just, as we were talking about enjoyment,
Yeah.
um, I find that when because I know you and I were, one of the things we were going to talk about is people finding the time for fitness.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, women especially will say, "Oh, I don't have time for that," but we have time for going to the salon, retail therapy, whether we're at the mall or online. If we're more honest, we don't make time for things we don't enjoy. And when I ask people, "Well, why don't you like to work out?" A lot of times the answer is because I don't like walking.
Yeah.
Okay, but there's jogging, there's
Um,
cycling, there's swimming, there's yoga, there's Pilates, there's volleyball. So I mean, there's a whole variety of things that you can do. And so a lot of times the things we do and don't like are limited to just one thing.
yeah.
And we need to explore options. So in terms of my routine, I go for options. So I do cardio every day, but it's different types of cardio. So some days I'm jogging, some days I'm on the elliptical, on the stair climber, or rowing. I typically go for 45 minutes to an hour, but it depends on how I'm feeling that day. I'm naturally self motivated, but if I wake up and I feel like I only have 45 minutes, a good 45 minutes in me, I'm doing 45 minutes and I'm giving my all in those 45 minutes rather than do an hour and it's, lackluster an hour.
Yeah.
So like I said, I do a variety of cardio. I also incorporate some strength training, but light strength training. So one time ago, I was competing in a bodybuilding show and I was going extreme, injured my shoulder. And I decided, yeah, while it may look a certain way,
Yeah.
long term,
Yeah.
I'm getting older. I'm not trying to be walking around crippled. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I go light, just to maintain that tone and to challenge myself, just to mix it up every day. It's almost like fitness should not be fitness should be a routine, but the act of it should be a routine. What you do shouldn't be a routine because you want it to remain exciting and you also want to keep your body surprised from day to day.
Nice. I like the whole concept, keeping your body surprised from day to day. In one degree, there is some routine, but in addition, you want to make sure you're discovering how to
Yeah.
keep it exciting. Ladies and gentlemen, we're joined here with Phyllice Janeen, and let me tell you something. We're talking fitness, health, and fitness. I'm excited about this talk because I've been wanting to do this for a while. Watch this. We'll be right back.
Oh.
You've got to do what you got to do to make sure you are in a good place. Okay. Now, lately, Phyllice, I've been thinking about the fact that, man, I am closer to 50. Woo! Right? I mean, 46. I'm like, wow, whoa, man.
Praise
Uh,
the
uh,
Lord.
yeah, praise the Lord. You said something. I want to talk about that for a moment because the aging process is really taking its turn for me to accept the fact that I'm almost 50. I have a mentor who's 47, 87, and I was reminded by her that you could still have another 40, Ricardo, in front of you. And a lot of times we don't live like that. Talk to us about that. That whole idea that we're thinking we're at this point, but the truth is, Phyllice, you could have another 40 in front of you. Doing the work to make sure that the body can meet the demands of another 40. What's your view there?
I look at I don't look at it so much as an aging process.
Yeah.
I look at it as an evolving process. So, from day to day, not only is my physical body evolving, but so is my mind. My mind is evolving. I'm experiencing things. I'm meeting people who challenge me in different ways. I'm discovering my, do's and don'ts, which changes, from one decade to another.
Yeah.
I'm evolving spiritually. I'm coming to have my own experiences with God, not, just what I've read in the Bible or what my mom's experience has been, but what is Felice's contact and relationship with God like? So when you look at life more in the sense that you're evolving from day to day, you're actually optimistic about what's the next day going to be like. You don't necessarily, when you're optimistic, you're not necessarily comfortable that it will be the same as the day before. When you're optimistic, you can actually expect uncertainty.
Yeah.
You don't have to know exactly how tomorrow is going to pan out, but you're optimistic that, because of your past experiences, because you have God in your corner, whatever happens tomorrow, you're able to face it and actually, survive and thrive and move forward.
Mm. The goal is to move forward, people. The goal is to move forward. Phyllice, there are a lot of people, you started to talk about it early on, and that is that busy person who says, I don't think I have time to do this. Talk to us about managing ourselves to a degree that we all do have the ability to make it happen should we want to make it happen.
I mean, like I was saying before, I don't understand people who say they don't have time to do anything.
Yeah.
I would say in my, work life, I easily work 80 hours a week. Easily. It's not a Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 type situation. When you're talking about 2,000 businesses that have been funded, and business in itself is unpredictable, uncertain.
Yeah.
And so every day somebody can pay the landlord, can pay the utility bill, can pay their employees, and you have to manage all these moving parts and keeping everybody calm and optimistic that things are going to work out. This is not the time to quit. you know I could sometimes, because I'm helping so many other people, what is important to me is that I carve out time just for me. That means I'm not answering your call, I will decline it. I'm not answering email. I'm not checking email. So definitely ain't responding to them. And that me time is important for me to clear my head. I find that me time a lot coincides with my workout. So 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm up, getting dressed to either go to the gym or go for a jog. When I go for a jog, that is when I gain the most clarity and focus for the day. I map out or I solve problems for the day in that 1 hour when I'm jogging.
Mm.
I don't have that clarity when I'm stuck in an office or doing a brainstorming session with teammates.
Yeah.
No, that clarity is with me when I'm jogging.
Okay.
And it's like things that may take me an hour or 2 hours to figure out, I could figure that out in minutes when I'm on the road. And, it's quiet, the air is clean. So for me, you can have a busy life.
Yeah.
Fine. And the thing about it is when people talk about they don't have the time to do it, all of us have the same amount of time in a day.
Yeah.
Why do you feel that you're so much busier than everybody else? I mean, everybody is not just twiddling their thumbs. We're all busy. But the truth is, we all have the ability to carve out that time, whether that's 30 minutes or an hour, where we say, this is me time and me time to refuel. How do you choose to refuel? For me, refueling is exercising. Refueling is detoxing. Refueling is, eating the right foods. Refueling is going out, having a good laugh. Refueling is being in the company of like-minded people, people who are positive and who bring up my spirit. So it's important to find that me time.
That me time. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're talking health and fitness here on Effective Living. As you guys know, this coming Saturday, we have a fitness boot camp here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And if you're anywhere in the area and you haven't registered, go to our website to register today. Now, Phyllice, when it comes to
so Ricardo, let me flip the question on you.
Go ahead.
You're a busy man.
Yeah.
How do you go about making time for fitness? What is is that a difficult thing for you to say, well, I need to take out 30 minutes, or is that an easy thing for you to do, as busy as you are?
Thank you. Well, I agree with you on so many fronts. When one, I had to accept the fact that we all have the same amount of time, 168 hours within a week. That's the first thing I accepted. The second thing was I realized my life would be best lived if I just accept the decisions I choose to live my life on. So I'm really decision centered. So, hey, 4 or 5 days a week, I'm going to put in some workout time early in the morning. I'm not 4:30 up in the morning, 5 o'clock gym. I like running as well. I'm not like running to the point of from an athlete standpoint, but it clears my head, just as I've heard you. It clears my head. It brings me answers I discovered in my speed walking and
Hmm.
so forth. A couple of years ago, I did a marathon, the BMW marathon here in Dallas, and how I pushed myself to do that when I knew I wasn't a guy who was accustomed to working out. I didn't realize, hey, this is going to be good for me. And
Okay.
over time, I like the fact that our lives are created by the decisions we make on a daily basis, and that and I think about the fact that I'm aging. A lot of people who have heard me in live talks heard me mention my age. I always say, and so last year I was all about, hey, I'm 45, man, right? Because I didn't thought I would make it to 45, but I also have people in my life who are saying to me I could become 85, it could be 90, and then I started thinking from a decision standpoint, the decisions I'm making today, are they going to be decisions I would have regret later because I found myself with age, but not making the decisions early on that will help me to respect the process of having aged. And so
Okay.
those are the things. Those are the things that governs my way of showing up from a workout standpoint and fitness.
And would you say too that having a strong support system helps you to buy time to do the things that you need and want to do? Because I think a lot of times when people say, "Oh, I'm so busy," a lot of times they struggle with delegating
Yeah,
certain tasks that
yeah,
can be done by somebody else and
yeah.
they just focus on the main things.
Yeah, most certainly, most certainly,
Okay.
and it's definitely one of those things. I think I'm actually even at this stage of my life learning how to outsource or delegate, how to identify the things I need not ever do again, and it's okay, and it's
Yeah.
okay. And let's talk about this, Felice. Uh, I have here the. I would like a couple of tips that you can give for our viewers on a healthy lifestyle. That okay, introductory level. I mean, what are some healthy practices one can incorporate before we bring our talk to a close?
Okay. So I can tell you tips or things that have worked for me.
Yeah,
Um, Sleep.
yeah, okay.
I must have 7 hours of sound sleep every day in order to function. I mean, to me, sleep is so understated, but it's so important for your mood. It's
Yeah,
so important for just the strength. If I don't sleep, I don't have the strength to go out there and jog 6 miles. I'm tired
right, right.
and I'm not in the best mood. I can't function at work. If somebody says the wrong thing, I'm going to snap.
Yeah,
So, definitely getting proper rest is important. Drinking water. I know for a lot of people, they don't like to drink water. They will drink everything besides water, juices, sodas, whatever, whatever. But when you think of the fact that two-thirds of our body is made up of water, we need to constantly be replenishing that water with new sources of water. And so, back in the day, we were all told it's 8 glasses of water for everybody. It's actually not correct. You can Google how much water that you should be drinking as an individual, and that depends on your weight. So, for instance, somebody who weighs 600 pounds versus somebody who weighs 100 pounds should be drinking more water. Somebody who is active, like me, maybe working out an hour a day, I should drink more water than somebody who maybe only works out 30 minutes a day. So, there are varying factors that determine how much water you should drink. So, you need to find that out, but definitely drink enough water to keep you replenished. Obviously, diet is important. A lot of times when people talk about fitness, we just talk about the exercising part of it and ignore that diet is actually 80% of the puzzle. You can spend your life in the gym, but if you leave the gym and go to Bamboo Shack,
yeah.
eating fried chicken and fried fruits, you just voided that whole workout.
Wow, wow.
Right? So you have to have proper nutrition. You have to eat foods that are nutrient dense. So, at one point I took a my doctor told me I was malnutrition. Malnutrition.
Yeah,
I eat every day.
wow,
What are you eating every day? Are
wow.
you eating foods that have good supply of vitamin C, vitamin D, all these things? Are you taking supplements to help you better absorb those different nutrients? So, sleep, water, diet, and laughter. I I cannot. I mean, if I don't laugh, I'll cry literally. I'm serious.
Yeah.
And, laughter is a good way to. I've had situations. Let me give you one example recently. Two newcomers to a company where I worked, they were promoted to being directors. I was hurt beyond hurt because I felt I've been slaving here for I don't know how long. These people, nobody even know their names properly. Now they're directors and I report to them. And so a friend, he waited until 3 o'clock because it was published in the Nassau Guardian. He waited until 3 o'clock and he sent a text and said, "Did you congratulate them?" And that was the kind of laugh I had because it was something worth asking. Did
Yeah.
you congratulate them? They've accomplished something.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to laugh at your pain
Yeah.
and see the irony in things and just roll with the punches.
Yeah.
Don't get stuck in that moment of bitterness, anger, frustration. Just look at it and say, look at this. Because you laugh because maybe that designation wasn't for you, but something better is for you.
Yeah.
And so sleep, water, diet, exercise, laughter.
Oh,
Those
man.
are my recommendations.
Phyllice, that was some good stuff. I want to say, did you congratulate them? Let's keep it moving.
I'm still working towards that. Let's put it this way. I'm no longer salty.
Oh, come on, good stuff. Good stuff. I hear you. I hear you. Hey, let's talk about Regimen because we're almost done. Let's talk about we have a fitness boot camp coming up this Saturday, and there are a lot of people who they hear the term boot camp and they get concerned. Oh my goodness, I don't think I can. When the truth is, baby steps. Having an approach at engaging yourself at your level for you. You talked about that a little bit at the early part of our talk. Reinforce that, highlight that a little bit more again for us, please.
Okay. So think of boot camp as a challenge.
Yeah.
Every day we're faced with different types of challenges. There's no day that doesn't have a challenge. Boot camp is no different. So when you come across, this challenging exercise, you simply say to yourself, I'm not going to die.
Yeah.
Or I'm not going to do anything that makes me die. So even with boot camp, your fitness level. If you're concerned that maybe you're not going to be able to keep up with everybody else, then that's something you should discuss with the instructor ahead of time. Is there a way, are you going to be giving modified versions of a particular exercise? Have those discussions. And then once you feel comfortable that, you're able to go in there, do your thing, then you should be fine. But I think a lot of times people, they shy away from challenges because they are more interested in competing with everybody else. You see somebody do 100 squats on your first day, you want to do 100 squats. Maybe you ain't there yet.
Yeah.
Maybe you can do 20 squats, but know within yourself that you did the best that you can do. So approach every challenge not from the standpoint of competing or, trying to impress or whatever. No, go at it as hard as you can go at it. And at the end of the day, pat yourself on the back and be proud of yourself. Even if your trainer says, you know what, you could have given me 50 extra squats, you feel proud that you did what you could do.
That is so good. Phyllice, looking back 20 years, what advice would you give to 20-year-old Phyllice that you know now that you didn't know then?
Enjoy the process.
Wow.
I think so many times we're so focused on the destination or the result.
Yeah.
We want to fit in a particular dress, we want to, look a certain way, and we don't enjoy ourselves on the way to that goal.
Mm.
So I would tell myself, look, life is short. Enjoy whatever it is you set out to do, and make sure that you enjoy the journey towards that goal.
Wow.
Because sometimes, many times, when you leave happiness or enjoyment out of it, you get to that destination, or you get to that result, and that feeling of satisfaction lasts maybe a day or 2 days.
Yeah.
And then you want something else.
Mm.
And so you're always reaching for something, but never enjoying, you know, the road that takes you to where you want to go. So that would be my advice to myself and to everybody. Whatever goal, fitness, life goals, whatever, make sure that you are learning and you're enjoying in the process.
Phyllice, you all up in my business, man. You all up. This is this. You, I'm like, Jesus. She got my book. I mean, in clear, because I tell you, I've been saying it for a while. I don't do anything I don't enjoy, and I'm a strong advocate to incorporating that lifelong learning mindset. Somebody, I taught a series last week on failure, and I said, failure to me is simply it didn't work out, and I'm going to get an opportunity to try again. I'm not a loser because it didn't work. It
You
just didn't work.
gained, you learned what doesn't work.
Yeah.
And that's
So
expertise that you could even sell to other people.
straight up, straight up, straight up. Listen, what does effective living look like to you as we close our talk today?
Effective living is being intentional and clear on what it is that you want to achieve, coming up with a simple plan. It doesn't have to be complicated, it doesn't have to be over the top. Come up with a simple plan to get to where you want to be. That's it. Be
Yeah,
intentional
yeah.
and be clear and
Wow.
simple. That's effective living.
That's clear and what's the other one?
Simple.
Simple. I like that.
Simple.
I
Yeah.
like it. I like it. Ladies and gentlemen, every day you got to do what you got to do to become the person that you were destined to be. Nobody is responsible for who you are or who you're becoming. At the end of the day, you got to take on the responsibility of saying, if my life is going to be anything worth living, I'm going to have to take the wheel and allow what God has given me in every day to make decisions that will make my days a little bit more inclined to be what I want it to be. And
Amen.
so I'm excited about the future. I'm so grateful, Phyllice, for joining me today.
Thank you.
Any
Thank
closing
you.
thought to our viewing audience who are joining? And then there are a lot of people who will be joining me on Saturday to my fitness. What do you say to our viewing audience? Fitness, a health lifestyle. You said a lot that was just so rich. But what final thought you will give as we get ready to close?
I just want to encourage everyone, and I'm not being cliche, but
Yeah.
honestly, just be the healthiest and happiest version of yourself. Find out what that means. I'm 45 years old, and I'm still in the process of discovering what is healthy and happy for me. You may not figure it out all in one day. You may not figure it out at 30. You may not figure it out at 40. But at the end of the day, let that be your daily quest to be healthy and happier than the day before. And just be like I said before, be intentional about it. Be simple about it. What makes you healthy and happy doesn't have to be complicated. You can be single and be happy.
Yeah.
You can be making $5,000 a year and be happy.
Yeah.
You can take a jog and be happy. You don't have to do something extreme or whatever, whatever. Just just strive to be proud of yourself
Yes.
and just give yourself a break, man. Like, stop stressing yourself trying to compete or look like Ricardo.
Yeah, yeah,
He's 46, looking amazing or whatever. You could have a different version of amazing
yes,
and be satisfied with that. However that looks, however that, once you are happy,
yes.
then that's what you should strive to be.
Phyllice, we're gonna have to do this again. You're gonna have to be a frequent guest on High Effective Living Talk, because this is just you just coined it all into one talk. But we're gonna have to do a
Thank
series.
you.
Thank you so much. This has been
Thank you.
amazing.
All
Ali,
right.
oh man, I appreciate you, Phyllice.
I
Keep
do
talking.
too.
Have a good
Okay,
day.
be blessed.
You too. Bye bye.
Okay, bye-bye.